Hey, this is Coach Kinsey. Shae here with Bobby Merwin.
Hello.
Yes, the counselor in the house. And like,
Mhm.
subscribe, do all that fun jazz. And today we thought, let's talk about self-care.
Yes.
Meaning, let's make it sexy, my friends, because we have the tendency to think we have to work hard all the time. All the
We
time.
do. GenXers have been just branded with this. I think about the people that I grew up with. I have a couple of buddies that I'm still in contact with very regularly that I graduated high school with. Both of their work ethics are just like off the chart,
Right.
And
Yeah.
we'll see that meme later that you showed me earlier, but that's very it's very telling. So yes, please continue self-maintenance and taking care of ourselves.
Yeah, for the most part, I feel like Gen Xers, we were very much brought up with the belief of work hard, sacrifice everything, relationships. I think this is an unconscious bias that we learned from our parents. So
Yes.
even if we don't logically have it in our head, we are living by that because we have quite often an issue with balance in our life.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just throw that meme up because you already talked about it.
I had to. It was so
I
good.
know. So Gen X, work hard. Gen Y, work smart. Gen Z, stay woke. Boomers, aren't you all the same? I can't read it because it's kind of fuzzy, but it's pretty much
It's a little
saying,
fuzzy.
I know, but it's pretty much saying, aren't you guys all the same? What?
Yeah, and get off my lawn. Yeah, I mean both of them.
But
Both
you
of
know
them.
what? Every generation could kind of say that. Get off my lawn.
Yep.
So I just thought that was really fitting because it took almost 40 plus years for me to actually take care of myself because this isn't saying that I wasn't healthy in a sense. Right. In my mind's eye, I thought I was because I used to run marathons. I used to run half marathons, 10Ks, do all this stuff, but it was all on the premise of work harder. Work harder. It was not a stress relief. It was more of what can I do? And I have to work hard to do it. And living under with that lens, you don't allow your parasympathetic, your rest and digest system to really build muscle, if you will, and our sympathetic system where our stress response lives, it gets totally overdeveloped. And it's not good when like the back of your hammies are stronger than the front of your hammies. You kind of fall over.
I'm trying to draw that in my head. I've got this cartoon. I'm like, wow, dude, you all right? You need to hit leg day a different way, okay?
Or the guys that do all the like arm work and then they have like pencil legs. I mean, it just doesn't. You need to have a good foundation.
They look like Johnny Bravo. Is what they look like. They look like Johnny Bravo.
We've all seen them, my friends.
We've all.
And this is a judgment-free zone. This is just observant.
No. We're observant. We're not judging. Good for them for working out in the first place.
Yes,
well done, you.
Yes.
But I hear what you're saying about the parasympathetic, system, and being able to tune that in. You and I have talked many, many hours about the woo-woo-ness and the anti-woo-woo-ness of me. I have been listening and learning from people around me, especially you. And thinking about how those things are really important. And Gen Xers just flat out seem to be the last ones that have that hard hat steel worker mentality that I got to go to work 11 hours every day. And if I'm not, then I'm not doing what I need to. My father told me when I was 14 years old, he said, if you're not looking for a job 8 hours a day, you're not looking for a job.
Well, yeah. And it really feeds into the victim mentality, meaning we live in this chasing mindset instead of being in the flow, like it really embracing the feminine part of us. Because just to break down like feminine energy, it's being in the flow, it's nurturing yourself, masculine energy is like the protector, you know, you're just the macho kind of guy.
Yeah. Tough
But
guy. Gotta be tough guy. Ow,
yeah,
ow, ow.
and
Ow,
we're
I'm
gonna
not so tough.
fix
I'm
it.
not so
We're
tough.
gonna fix it. And males, males and females, we all have masculine and feminine energy, and
Right.
just like self-care, it needs to be in balance. The intention should be balance. And especially in these times where a lot of things are just crazy. Even the Olympics became a spectacle. I mean, in what year did that happen? You know what I mean? It's just, I'm not going to go down that road, but
there must be something that I missed because I've been watching a lot of Olympics, so I must have missed something.
No, it was the opening ceremony, and yeah, we're not going to get in that because that's off topic, and I don't really want this to be political or religious or whatever.
I agree. I agree.
This is all about self-care, self-development, and really owning the skin that you're in. And when you're in that chasing that carrot, you know, you just keep running in circles. You know, you see the horses that have like the little sock carrot or whatever they chase around the. Have you ever seen that? Or no, that's the dog races. They chase.
Oh yeah, the greyhounds.
Yeah, the greyhounds.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I see Gen Xers. We're just chasing that damn sock, toy, carrot, whatever the heck it may be. And half the time we don't even know what we're chasing. That's my point.
Excuse me, what was I doing? Bartender, give me another drink. I'm gonna figure this out in a minute.
Well, and
we don't know what we're chasing.
Yeah, and I think, and I know this is probably gonna, you know, kind of rub a few people, but running and chasing doesn't allow yourself to really just be at one with yourself. You know, it just allows you just to be in perpetual motion, and you're kind of in the middle of the ocean, just treading and treading and treading, and all you are is exhausted. There's no sense of ownership, sense of self. And self-care is very much about filling your cup, you know. A lot of people, we live in this blame, this skepticism of reality, you know, because Gen Xers tend to, this is the rub part, we tend to be a little bit biased, skeptical, and when is the other shoe going to drop type of mentality.
Oh, so much. Wow. If I had the Olympic bell, I'd be ringing it. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
You absolutely nailed it. And you said something about, there you go. Yep. You said something about not wanting to be alone with ourselves. I didn't want to stop you in the middle of your role. Boom. Yes. Yeah. I think of my two buddies right there. You know, sometimes they don't want to be alone with themselves. I have noticed that as the generations change, you know, Z, millennial, whatever, they have that ability. They do. Right. And I'm going to call it an ability because it is.
It is.
I'm going to tell you 5 years ago, I might not have said that as strongly. Today, I am, because I am learning how now to check in with myself. You said something about you didn't know how to do proper self-care or self-care to the level that you do now, X amount of years ago. Neither did I. I'm just learning this after 50. But you know what I'm doing? I'm paying attention. Oh, it should be taught. Absolutely.
I mean, what was our PE when we were younger? Dodgeball, where you pretty much try to drill the other person with a ball. That was our PE. That was our exercise, which they don't do anymore.
No, if they do, it's probably a ball made out of cotton balls and Nerf balls. Yes. Wouldn't want to use one of them hard rubber balls. Man, how many of those I take to the face. Holy cow. Just grab a ball, turn around, bam, you know.
Well, I think a lot of people don't really embrace self-care because we have this bias that self-care is selfish, it's woo-woo, it's not appropriate because there's so many other things that we could be doing to make money, to up level our life. But what lens are we looking at? What are we looking through?
You're killing me. You're killing me today, Kinsey. Seriously. There's no other way to say it. You're just fucking nailing it. You are. Because I have never been able to take the time, unless we roll in about the last 2 years, about being able to take any sort of self-care, any sort of woo-woo. Because I thought it was woo-woo. And then I started doing it, and then I started talking to other people. And I realized that I was not by myself. I was talking to some friends of mine about some yoga the other day, and they go, "Oh yeah, I do yoga. I love it." And I went, "What?
Yeah, we
you
just
do
don't
yoga
talk about it. Yeah.
I thought I was coming out of the closet about yoga for a second there, and he's going like, "Oh yeah, that's the greatest thing in the world." And he goes, "Have you ever done goat yoga?" And I went, "Dude, I want to do goat yoga so bad."
I know.
do.
The thing is it's like
find it.
I know. With self-care, it's just being curious like a child. Like when you're a child, you don't judge yourself like, oh my God, what are people going to think? This is woo-woo. Does this really matter? Does this really whatever? We're all in our head, and we don't really allow us just to be curious like a child, like a kid in a candy store, just like, ooh, what's this one? Ooh, let me try this one, because life is definitely like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
What you're going to get. Yep.
You might find something that you absolutely love,
Yeah, you might. I didn't know I liked pecans. I don't know.
Right.
Could happen.
I mean, just to, to touch upon like the Olympics, like I was like, it brought me back to my childhood because I did gymnastics. And, I was really, my coach really wanted me to stay in, but my parents were very focused on money and circumstances, and they were doing the best they could. And they took me out, and we had this long meeting. I mean, I was like in the second grade, and the coach is like, no, she could be really, really good. And it brought me back to that. Now I'm like, yeah, that was my past. It was a decision because I was a minor. But the thing is if I want to do something today, I don't need to focus in on the circumstances. I don't need to focus in on everything why I shouldn't do it before I even try it. Because quite often you can find things for low cost, no cost, because you just find a support group or a group that likes to do it, and they'll figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, and so it got me in that childhood, type of thing. I'm like right now I'm revamping how I'm setting up my business because it wasn't feeding my purpose, my passion.
Right.
It was getting me hooked into that Gen X, work harder, chase, do all that. And people feel that. People feel that it wasn't in alignment for me. So yeah, I'm taking a beat and I'm rebuilding it how I want it to be built. And that's that's the way with self-care, with business, all of the different environments in your life. Just rate yourself 0 to 10. Where am I? And then ask yourself, okay, what's my goal? The goal shouldn't be a 10. It should be like, okay, if I'm a 4, how can I be a 5? And then ask yourself, what do I need to do to get to a 5? And allow yourself to play in that question. Allow yourself to play. I don't care if you put on a video or you just mind dump, meaning you just spew stuff out to a voice recorder. I could do this. I could do this. Because most often the first 7 or 10 that you throw out are complete shit. They're basically, they're basically filtered by your subconscious biases and beliefs.
Yes. And you have to start somewhere. Let's pad that a little bit. So let's go with the effort. And I'm just going to dovetail what you're saying. I'm not negating anything that you
No,
said,
I
because
know.
everything that you said is fantastic. But also know it's kind of like, you remember when we had to write papers in college? And you would sit in front of that paper that was completely white, Microsoft Word sitting there white in front of you. And the cuss words start coming out of your mouth because you're like, I have no idea where to start. And then what I would just do is have a thought and then just start hitting keys.
Right.
And then, oh, I made a sentence. Okay, let's go above or below that. What do I want to do? Let's tag on to that. Let's do that. And I'd try and come up with the thesis, have the thesis, then build from there. So where you're saying, I'm a 4, but how do I get to a 5? What do I need to do? Take an inventory, take an inventory of what you need to do. Don't pressure yourself. Know that you're going in that direction. Think about it like, what that?
Reserve judgment.
Everybody get up on the microphone and reserve judgment.
Reserve judgment. Be an observant. Play. I mean,
yes.
And just really
tinker.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, because the thing is you will never move forward. And I don't like the never, but the likelihood of you moving forward by stopping yourself before you even start. I mean, just imagine doing a 100, relay. If you don't start, you're not going to get to the finish line. You're not going to get to the first hurdle. You're not going to get to the second hurdle. Whatever. That I know that analogy doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Meaning that it
if
wasn't
you don't start, you'll never get there.
Yeah. But I just feel the excitement. I mean, use all of your 5 senses. Really, feel it in your soul, in your heart space, because that is where you can make those needle point moves to get to where you're going to be, where you want to be, where you envision where you want to be. It's a beautiful process. And just I mean, when you're a kid and your mom and dad were like, do you want to go to the playground? You're like, oh yeah, I could be on, the bars. I could be on, what was that thing that would swing around? I don't even think they have them anymore because so many.
Tetherball?
No. Well, that was fun too. That little merry-go-round thing.
The go-round thing.
Go-round thing, yeah.
I've never been hit in the head by that. Not once.
Yeah. But I mean, you already were mapping it out in your head.
Yeah.
So we're just inviting you to basically go back to your child self of like when your parents threw out an idea, you already had all of these things spinning through your head.
I don't know what has gotten into you, but we need to do this at this time of day or something, because you are so bang on right now. It is absolutely perfect. Go back to that part of yourself that enables you to do that and to open up your ways. Forgive yourself for doing something and it didn't work out perfectly. It's okay. Just try again. That's perfectly fine. It's all right. Know that this is not woo-woo. Okay. I have been anti-woo-woo for so long. And I finally had people come to me and say, just give this a try. If it doesn't work, let me know and we'll do something different. And then I give it a try and go, well, that worked. Well, I feel silly. I should have tried this earlier, but that's okay. You're doing it now. Yeah. You're doing it now. It's okay. So let yourself, what I do when I talk to my clients is I call it blue sky. Right. I want you to blue sky what you want to do. Like if you could go back in time, or if you could do it tomorrow, what would it be? What would you want to do? I shouldn't say go back in time because that's another part of it, because I like to do the whole, what are your biggest passions? Like for me, if I could go back in time, my daughter already knows where to find me. It'd be in some lounge in Las Vegas watching Frank Sinatra. She already knows if we have time machines, that's where she's going to find me. I'm going to have a martini in my hand and go, oh, hi, honey. Glad you could join me,
I know. For me, with that, what I do with my clients is I'm like, okay, so you wish you would have done that. Okay, so what lessons did you learn? Bring that in the present and being that energy, that excitement that you had when you first started. Really feel, taste, touch, embrace it. And now what would you do? It's like, now what would you do type of exercise. You know, it because the more that we anchor ourselves in the past, we can't move forward because we're chained. It's kind of like the elephant that's chained to it grows and grows, and it's still, you know, attached to a little pole that it could totally pull over, but it in its head it believes that it can't,
That
so
it's
it
anchored there.
won't.
That is correct. It's a little tiny tree. It could just pull it right over. Yes, it's like the euphemism or the metaphor that I use about, you know, the windshield and the, you know, rear view mirror. If you're staring at the rear view mirror, you cannot see what's going on in front of you. And you're just living there instead of here. I need you to live here. Yeah.
And, you know, even going back, sometimes, you know, with my clients, we have to do the forgiveness, you know, the total truth letter, like really expressing all those emotions that you were angry about this, that, or the other. You regret that you didn't do this, that. This is just getting it somatically out of your system, out of your nervous system, so that you can release it, because surrender is key to moving forward. And Gen Xers, it's surrender. No, we got to win. We got to win. We got to win.
Yes, exactly.
And
I have to do the best. I have to do the most. I have to win.
Yeah. So just really nurture yourself through this process, and just reserve judgment and have unconditional love for yourself.
Reserve judgment.
Yes, reserve judgment. And love yourself.
Thank you. Yes, do that.
We're
gonna do some of those podcasts, those audio things that people do to relax. Now just reserve judgment and love yourself.
I know.
But no, you're nailing it. I mean, you are so on today. It is everything that has come out of your mouth has been just eloquent and very, very direct and very helpful. It's like, wow, it's just bam, 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 just over and over, just nailing it. Because if you can let yourself do something different. If you're Gen X and you're listening to this right now, I've got $1 that says you might be in a pattern. And it might not be the most positive pattern. All we're trying to do is just tweak it a little bit so that you can see something and then you could run with it. Now, one of the metaphors that I use with my clients is that I don't tell you what to do. We talk about what you want to do. You have a flashlight and I have a flashlight. And then we're shining it, and I might shine it on something that you didn't shine it on before.
Right.
And you're going to go, I didn't know that was there. Like, hey, let's go take a look. That's it.
Awareness. It's awareness, my friends. And to up-level your life, to embrace yourself, is learning yourself, and that requires somebody to shine the light, if you will. Because we have blind spots. We're kind of like the horses with the little blinders on. We only see what we want to see from what we've learned, and the beliefs, expectations, all of that stuff, the biases, all that fun stuff. But when we take that off, you see all these different possibilities, and you're like, oh my God, I could do this. Yeah. I could do that.
Yep.
It's an amazing, fun thing. And
absolutely amazing.
I get super excited when I see the light bulb just turn on, like, oh, I could do that. It's super powerful and I know that I say super powerful all the time, because this stuff is powerful, my friends. It has shifted and shaped my life, because I would have never thought that I would be coaching people, that I would be speaking on international stages, that I would have never thought that 6 years ago.
And talking to me, you never thought you'd be talking to me. I mean, that's like the pinnacle of everything.
No, I would be like, if I was in the same mindset, I would be like, I'd talk to that damn counselor again and whatever, and just going.
Wow, I've never heard that before. When I used to have to deal with a lot of people that were on parole and probation, and they were sent to me by a judge, and they knew, they had like a thumb in the back of their head when they were walking in the door, like proverbially from the judge, like, you will go see Bobby and talk to him, and he reports back to me.
Right.
Oh, the hatred. Oh my God.
I know. That's the same like in this in the behavioral health world. Like, if people get court ordered to be there, It's usually not the most pleasant first couple days because it's just pure anger, pure, you know, like I'm not suicidal. I didn't, whatever. And, you know, all the backtracking and all whatever. And that is normal and that is okay. But at the end of the day, accepting your circumstances where they are and acknowledging that there's a better way, that is pivotal in changing the direction that you were going, you know, because there is a reason why you are the way you are, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't change your reality doing the same behaviors, doing the same activities, doing the same things. Something has to shift. I mean, doing the same thing and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity, because you're just beating yourself against the wall.
It truly is. And what I try and help people with is that you're doing the best with what you know. This is the area that you know, and this is your comfort zone. All I'm asking you to do is open an ear and open up your heart just that much and say, hey, I want you to check this out. We get stuck in patterns. You and I talked about this a few shows ago, where the patterns are comfortable, but they're not always positive. So we try and make a little bit more positive patterns. And then that tends to roll over because the negative rolls into the negative. I mean, if you're going to go out drinking a couple of beers every night, then in a couple of months, it's going to be 3 beers. A couple of months, it's going to be 4 beers. If you go to the gym 3 times a week, in 6 months, that could be 4 times a week. You know?
And this kind of really leads into self-accountability and self-responsibility and advocating for yourself. Those
God, I'm Gen X. Those are terrible things to say.
I know.
Just stop right there, lady. Stop. I don't want to hear this crap, all right?
But no, self-responsibility is just knowing that you have the power within yourself, because quite often we give our power away. We get in the blame game. I can't do this because, instead of like, okay, my passion is I want to do this. How can I do it? It might not be exactly how everybody else is doing it, but you will be doing it. Like when, you know, after my car accident, I wanted to sleep in my bed, and I was in a hospital bed on, you know, the main level. My bed was 18 stairs up. So I had to make a decision to figure out how I was going to do it. So I did it on my butt. It wasn't like everybody else, but if I would have just, you know, fed into that negative, I can't get up there, and just go in that victim mode. So I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to be bitter, miserable, and whatever. No, I got on my butt. I humped my way up and I slept in my bed. You know, so it's kind of like, you know, with like quantum physics, it's the law of observance. What you focus on is what you change. So if you choose not to focus on how you can do things, then you're never going to do those things. If you focus on why you can't do them, all you're going to see is the things why you can't do something.
Again, nailing it. That is it. No, that's it. I got nothing. I'm just going to sit here and be funny and stupid. Seriously. I be a goofball. You are absolutely nailing it. We need to, and I'm going to just dovetail this a little bit so that I can have a different voice in there. Dovetail the fact that you are trying to do something. That's okay. You're going to fail a couple of times. Give yourself a chance. Just look and focus on a few other things. Just look a different direction. We get stuck in this Gen X, eins, zwei. This is all I'm going to do. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to come home. I'm going to do this and this and this, and I'm going to bed. Wash, rinse, repeat. I'm like, I'll bet a lot of those things that you're doing are not healthy, especially if you're, you know, taking all of the extra overtime. I've got a buddy of mine that does this.
Yeah.
I am a counselor and a friend of this man. And I'll tell you what, it's hard to pull him back. Like, dude, you don't need to work 58 hours a week. Stop.
Well, it really lends to the all or nothing kind of mentality, because like we are like, oh, I'm going to be healthy. So we change all of our eating patterns, try to change our sleeping patterns, try to change, and we work out like hardcore. And then we give up after 2 days because it's too hard. Well, what if we take one of those and, and
that hit so home. I remember doing that years ago. I'm like, I'm gonna change everything. I'm gonna get rid of everything in the house. I'm gonna eat nothing but salad and beets, and that's it. And I'm gonna work out 17 days a week. 2 days later, oh, I hate this shit. I ain't doing this. No, I'm out. I'm out.
Self-care is very much about having a routine. So I talk a lot about morning, because you have to kind of have end caps, book caps of your day. Bookends. Like when it starts, whatever. You know how I make crap up.
And now it's time for another Kinseyism.
I know. So like in the morning, when you wake up, what are you doing? Are you first getting on social media and totally anchoring to that energy?
Yeah.
Or are you doing movement? Are you doing some kind of mindfulness? Are you doing some positive brain work, reading a book or listening to a podcast while you're showering? Couple your behaviors. Like when you're brushing your teeth, like if you want to think more positively of yourself, I did this after my car accident. I plastered sticky notes all over my mirror of like, I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm whatever. And when I was brushing my teeth, I really felt those things. Like, I'm capable, I'm able, I'm going to walk again. I'm going to, and really feel it.
It really does work.
It does.
We've had a lot of satire and humor that have taken the piss out of that, but it really does work to do that. I tell myself when I get up in the morning that I'm going to make something out of this day. I never get on social media at first. And I just thought it was funny that you said you plastered all these things all over the mirrors. I'm like, well, I just got up in the morning and got plastered. Kidding. Joke. It's a joke. I did not.
Well, the reason why affirmations don't work for a lot of people, because they don't set intention and they don't use their 5 senses. You have to feel them and set intentionality behind it, because intention equals action. If you don't have intention with the words you say, you will not move. It won't move the needle.
Yeah, I like to say you get to action through intention.
Yeah.
So yes, you and I are pretty much saying the same thing. Yeah. And now this will be the male and female perspective of the show.
I know. And the
there you go.
The counselor.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
It's like sweet and sour, baby. It goes together. Yeah.
It does.
Yes. So wow, we did good today. I'm happy with this. I just, if you know, every game there's a different player that does something a little bit different. There's a breakout and excuse me, they'll have like 4 hits and 2 home runs. I mean, that was you today. I mean, just everything that came out of your mouth. I'm like, man, that's good. I almost started writing stuff down. I'm glad I own this. I can look at it again. And other people can look at it too.
Right.
Which is good, which is why we do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just to, bring it just a little bit further, there's we're getting older and we might have chronic illness, whether it be diabetes, heart disease, or you might have a physical or emotional disability that a lot of people they really anchor to the limitations of that, and they define themselves by their label. But your label is not what defines you. Your reaction to it, your intention of how you want to progress is what matters. That will move the needle to your goals. Because when I was in the wheelchair, my intention was to walk again. So that was, I felt it. I envisioned it. I envisioned how it would feel to walk through the sand. How to, this is things you can do in your head. Before I went to bed, I would think of running. Now, technically I can't run, but I can power walk. I can run in the pool. It doesn't, you know what I mean? I adjust.
Right.
Don't kill your dreams before you even start dreaming.
That's right.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be
You don't know.
I wouldn't be talking to you right now if I would have lived in the cesspool of I can't. So that is the thing that we really want to bring home, is that you can, and that you're more powerful than you think that you are. Take your power back.
Yes, you are.
Take that victim badge off and be the warrior that you know that you that's in you. You know that you are.
Yep. No, yeah, take off the victim badge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm right there with you. You have nailed it. I feel like I'm anchoring the show like an anchor, you know, like,
Oh, stop it.
Come on,
Stop
Bobby,
it.
come
Stop
on,
it.
do something great, you know. But no, you just nailed it today, and I love that. And everything that you've said, if somebody could just take this to heart, I will take it more to heart after this. I'll tell you that. I feel like I have stolen today. You know, I feel really, really good about everything that you said, and it just gives me more and more inspiration to do the things that I am trying to do in my life. I'm not going to go into them, but I am making some changes in my life.
Right.
And a little bit of it is woo-woo, and a little bit of it is perspective, and a little bit of it is effort. And you need, you know, that ingredients. You need those ingredients to make it happen.
And I will say this, and sometimes people have blind spots, and sometimes the intention should be to take somebody else's lens, because I believe in you. Bobby believes in you. You are your own rescue. And sometimes you just have to borrow somebody else's lenses. I had to borrow somebody else's lenses in my journey because I didn't trust myself.
So did I.
Yeah. So there is nothing wrong with borrowing other people's lenses to get you over that speed bump that could change the rest of your life.
Yep. My father always used to say, no man is an island.
No.
So sometimes you do need a little bit of help and a different vision. I just had it last week. One of my best friends is a counselor, and I was telling him about something that I want to do. And he goes, well, why don't you do this? And I went, I felt like somebody had, like, you know, smacked me in the head. I'm like, I literally did not see that at all.
Right.
And I was so thankful. I'm like, that was the best idea ever. And I don't care who I am or what my education is or how long I've been doing this. I cannot see everything.
No.
So see it through another lens.
Yeah, see it through another lens.
That's right.
On that note, like, subscribe, do all that fun jazz. Yes. And we will see you next week. And I hope that you have found value. If you do, smash that subscribe, smash that, you know, because it really helps bring this content and really helps us out. And we appreciate you. And
totally.
And
leave notes if you want to hear something or talk about something or have something that you want us to bring up. Write it down.
Yeah, because I love doing Q&A day. So
I love that too.
Yeah, so put your Q's and your A's and whatever you want to put on there. But this is a place of positivity and growth and development. So please be respectful if somebody shares. And it's just to look through a different lens.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good. Great to be with you today.
Yeah, you too. See you next week.
Yep. I look forward to it. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.